Hi scholars, this is our last video of today and we're doing a math review. So go ahead and get your Go Math workbooks, a pencil, and some crayons. You can pause the video when you're ready, click play. Okay, if you're still watching, that means you're ready to go. We're not starting a new lesson, we're actually all done with chapter 12, so now we're doing the review test, which is just a review. So I'm gonna go over everything we've learned and then we'll practice together. So, here we go. For chapter 12, we've learned how to, I'm going to make myself smaller, classify and sort data, and we classify it by size, color, and shape, and then we sort it into a graph. And we can also count the numbers, right? So we learned how to count by color, and we discussed all the colors, which we know. We know that we graph all the blue shapes here, and on this side of the table, we would graph our purple shapes. We also, I'm going fast. We also learned how to classify by the shape. So we went over shapes, circle, square, triangle, hexagon, and rectangle. Those are two-dimensional shapes. We went over on this side of the table, we'd put all the ones that were circles, and on this side, not circles. So even though they're different colors and different sizes, they're all circles. And on this one, these are not circles. The color didn't matter on this one because we were just talking about shape. We also learned how to classify and count by the size. So we talked about big and small. Those are both sizes. We talked about these two triangles, that the yellow one's big, the blue one's small. We talked about the squares. The red one's big, the green one's small. And then we sorted our shapes into a table. This side was big and this side was small. So all the big shapes went on that side and all the small shapes are on this side. Then we learned how to make a graph. So we sorted our cubes by colors. We put all the orange ones here and the green ones here. We learned that this right here is a graph. It looks like a 10 frame, but it's not 10 frame because there's not 10. Remember we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not a 10 frame, but it looks like one. And we call this a graph. On this side, it tells you what to put on the top row. So we see that orange cube goes on top row and green cubes go on the bottom row. Then we sorted our cubes into the graph like this, and we counted. Remember, we don't count the ones on the outside because they're not inside the graph, only the ones inside the graph. So we counted orange, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we counted green, 1, 2, 3. We said that there are more orange than green, and 4 is greater than 3, or more than. We also sorted shapes into a graph by the actual shape. So we did circles on the top, triangles on the bottom. This is what it looks like. When we count them, we don't count the ones on the outside because they're not in the graph. You only count the ones inside the graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, and then triangles on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know there's more circles than triangles because there's 5 circles and only 4 triangles, and 5 is greater than 4. Then we learned how to read a graph by counting. What we've been doing the whole time. And we did make our own graph too. Okay. Whew, that was a lot. Now you need to open up your Post-it or your bookmark to this page here, which is 517 if you're lost. But your Post-it and bookmark should already be on this page. And this is our review. So find red apple number 1. Put your finger on it. Here's our directions. Lynn sorted some shapes into categories by color. Look at the shape at the beginning of the row. So let's look at the shape at the beginning. I see a what? Circle. Put an X on the category that shows where the shape belongs. So if you look on this side, you see here's a category of shapes. I see a triangle, square, a circle, and a rectangle. And then on this side over here, I see a category with a square, triangle, and circle. But look at the difference. These ones are all different colors, and these ones on this side are all the same color. They're blue. So where do you think the blue circle belongs? Does it belong with the yellow, red, and green shapes or the blue shapes? The blue one. So put a big X. X marks the spot for this one. Good. Find yellow sun number 2. Put your finger on it. Draw and color a shape that belongs in this category. So I see a green circle, a green square, a green square, a green triangle, a green triangle, a green square. Oh, circle. What shape should we do in here? It doesn't matter what shape, but what color should it be? Green. So I'm going to do a green triangle. So I have my green. You can use your green crayon. And if you wanted to do a green circle, you could do that. If you wanted to do a green square, you could do that. If you wanted to do a triangle like me, you can. If you wanted to do a rectangle or even a hexagon, that would work as long as it's green. Okay, find green leaf number 3. Put your finger on it. Look at the shape in the beginning of the row. You see a red triangle. Mark under all of the categories this shape can belong. So, the first category here, I see all triangles, but they're different colors. Do you think that the red triangle can fit in this one? Sure, why not? So let's bubble it in. It's a triangle. It doesn't have to be the same color because none of these are the same color. What about this category? What do you see in here? I see a red square, a red circle, a red triangle. They're all what color? Red. And even though they're not the same shape, they're all red. So do you think the red triangle could fit in there? Sure, it's red. Let's bubble it in. And let's look at the last one. I see different colors. I see blue, yellow, green, and they're all a square. So do you think a red triangle would fit with all the different colored squares? No, because these are all squares. Even though they're not the same color, they're shaped by their shape. They're sorted by their shape. So the triangle would not fit in with all the squares. So we're going to leave that one alone. Okay, take your Post-it or your bookmark, flip to the next page, and find, I think it's blue flower next. Blue flower number 4. And put your finger on it. Okay. Draw and color a shape that belongs in this category. So let's check it out. I see a square, it's red. I see a rectangle, it's green. Ooh, this is a hard one. I see a red square here, a blue square, a yellow rectangle, and a green rectangle. So are they all the same color? I see red, green, yellow, blue. Are they all the same shape? No, because that's a rectangle and that's a square. But what do they have in common? What do they all have? How many sides? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. What does a rectangle have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they all have 4 sides. So even though it's a square and a rectangle, we know they both have 4 sides and 4 vertices. So take whatever color you want because look, it's a mix of colors. You have red, green, blue, yellow. So color doesn't matter. So you pick your color that you want. And you need to draw a shape that has how many sides? 4. So you can do a rectangle or you can do a square. I'm going to do a rectangle. I know a rectangle turns from a hot dog to a building, and a square, if it turns, stays a square. And you can do whatever color you want. I did red because that's the color I picked. Okay, make sure you only have 4 sides and 4 vertices. And let's move on to purple butterfly number 5. And put your finger on purple butterfly. And here's your directions. Mark an X on each big shape. Oh, so now we're talking about sizes. We know big and small. Big and small. So we're finding a big shape and we're going to mark it with an X. So let's go on a hunt. I see a tiny triangle. Should we put an X on that? Is that big? I don't think so. What about this square? That's big. Let's put an X on it. What about this circle? That's small. What about the circle? Oh, that's big. What about the square? Small. What about the triangle? Small. So how many big shapes did we find? Let's count. 1, 2. And now next to this word, big, B-I-G, big. Let's write the number 2. Now we're going to draw a circle around each of the small objects. So we're going to circle the small ones, which are all the shapes we didn't put an X on, right? Because we found the big ones already. So go ahead and circle all the small ones. And then count how many small shapes you found. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to write 4 next to the word that says small. S-M-A-L-L. Small. Small. And write 4. Nice job. And take your finger, rub it on your nose, rub it on your eyebrow, rub it on your ear, and put it on brown acorn number 6. Draw lines to match the shapes to the way they were sorted. Okay, so this is hard. I'm going to give you a hint. Down here at the bottom, it says red. Put it on your arm. Red. Blend it. Red. And over here, it says big. Big. So we need to draw a line. Which one is red and which one is big? So let's find the category. I see shapes on this side and I see shapes on this side. All these shapes, are they red or are they big? They're big, right? Because I see a yellow, a blue, a green, so they can't be red. They must be big. So take your line and connect them. Then let's look at this category. I see triangle, circle, square. Are they red or are they big? I think they're all red, right? Because I see a triangle and a circle that are really little, so they're not all big. So we're going to draw a line to connect it to the word red. That was kind of a hard one. Nice job. Take your Post-it or your bookmark. Let's flip to the next page. I think it's the last one. And find pink heart number 7. Ooh, I see a graph, right? It looks like a 10 frame. And the title of the graph says
Triangles and Circles.
So we're going to be graphing by triangles and circles. Look to the side. The top row is going to be triangles, and the bottom row is going to be circles. You know that we have to fill in from the front, no skipping any, because then it's going to be funny when we count. Okay, I'm going to draw a line to put them into the graph because I don't have shapes with me. So the first shape I see is a triangle. So does it go in the top row or the bottom row? The top row. Good. I can even draw my triangle down here too. Okay, the next one I see is a circle. So I'm going to skip that. I'm just going to do the top row first, and then I'm going to do my bottom row next. So my other triangle needs to come in here. You know how to do this. This triangle should come in. I can't skip any. Should this one go over here or over here? Oh, over here. Miss Paulina said you can't skip any. Good. Okay, now we need to do our circles, and we know the circles go on the bottom row. They can't go on the top because this circle tells us so. All right, let's put our circle into the graph. Fill from the front. Can I skip one? No. You can't skip any. This is hard with the lines. Thank you. Miss Paulino got a package. Okay, now let's count. Now let's count. How many red shapes do we have? Or red triangles do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So next to the red triangle, let's write number 4. Let's see how many blue shapes we have, or blue circles we have. 1, 2, 3. And let's write it down. Good job. All right, last one. Find the bluish green fish, number 8. I see another graph that looks like a 10 frame, but it's not a 10 frame. Actually, this one is a 10 frame, but it's a graph. Let's see the title of our graph.
Blue squares and circles.
So now we're working with blue shapes. Top row we put all the circles, and bottom row we put all the squares. And it says, here's the directions. Jake sorted some shapes. Then he made a graph. Count how many shapes there are in each category. Okay, so let's count. But before we do that, we need to cross off the ones on the outside so we don't get confused because we don't count those. Cross them off. And now let's count. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 circles. Now go to the bottom. Let's count the squares. 1, 2. 2 squares. Mark an X on the category that has more shapes. So are there more circles or more squares? More circles. So I'm going to put a big X on. I'm going to change my color. On my circle. This one has more. Good job. We know 3 is greater than 2. And there's more circles than squares. Good job. Okay, that is it for today's lesson. If you want to, you can do the extra pages in your workbook. We're not going to do this one. But you can do them if you would like to with mom or dad to help you. But that's it for today. And make sure you watched the reading video on forces and the phonics long U. And I put the Old MacDonald song on Class Dojo so you can practice at home. But that's it for our videos. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. And don't forget your iReady minutes. Okay, I miss you. Goodbye.